I'm already so happy to play this game. So let's check this game out. I'm going to do, where's the tutorial here? You guys are going to get all the rules at the same time, and you're going to understand it. But it is fairly complicated, but if you think about it like Gwent, it's not. You're thinking about it, you're playing engines, you've got 3 rows that are very distinctly different, and you're playing for as many points as possible. If you're a bird enthusiast like me, you'll really like this game because this game has every bird call and all the birds do real-world equivalents to what they do in real life. So the blue jay collects seeds, and the bald eagle is a predator, so it has predatory, and it's a big bird, so it gives you more points, so it's got a higher strength. And the birds don't fight. It's a peaceful game, but you're still playing against people. All right, thanks, Robin. Guardian of this wildlife preserve. This place is all about birds, but it's also about winning. To win the game, you have to get the most victory points, which are represented by feathers. Think of this like Gwent's strength. This is the numbers that count towards your win. One way to do this is by playing the birds in your hand. Before we start, you should get familiar with the structure of the game. So, in this game, there are 4 rounds. Each round, you have 1 less action than the round before it. So you'll see something like this. Wingspan's played over 4 rounds. Right now, it's your first turn of the first round, and in the first round, you take 8 turns. In the board game aspect, you have these action cubes. In this, it's digital, so it's just represented by an icon. Yeah, so you take 1 less turn. On the right side, you can see how many turns you have left in the round. Yeah, and each round has a different objective that changes each game you play. So, like in this case, it would care about how many birds I have in my forest row, but it says, don't worry about them right now, so we won't. What can we do each turn? So how do we navigate the habitats of our preserve? So 3 rows. If you think of it like melee, ranged, and siege, we have forest, grasslands, and sea. We are in the forest. Now each row is each row does something different as well. So we're going to the grassland now. So each habitat's different. So if you're in the forest row, you can gain food resources. If you're in the grasslands row, you can gain eggs, which are its own resource that's very important. And if you're on the, well, you'll see. So that's what it's saying. So every egg you have is like basically a +1 boost on your bird. Different birds can accept a different amount of eggs, but you also need to spend those eggs to play more birds. 1 egg here, 1 egg here, 2 eggs here, 2 eggs here. You'll see. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. And this is where you actually draw cards. So if you want to draw more cards, you have to do stuff in the wetlands. And we have cards down here, which are the same for both or all opponents, I believe. And then we have cards in our hand. I like that it's the blue jay, because I like me some blue jays. I got a blue jay tattoo. That's great that it's the tutorial bird. We're gonna hear the blue jay call. Now let's show you the most important part of the game, the birds. So this is the birds in my hand. We have 3 cards. But at the beginning of the game, you may not have 3 cards in your hand. You can choose if you want to keep resources or cards. So here's the Carolina chickadee. So I'm going to just go through the anatomy of the card here. The tutorial is going to go through this as well. Okay, so check this out. Carolina chickadee. 2 strength, right? 2 strength. The mana cost is 1 invertebrate and 1 seed. You can only play it in the forest row. The activation you'll get to later. And I don't know what this means, but we'll see. Here you have the habitat symbols, which show you where the bird can be played. The Carolina chickadee can only be played on the melee row, which is the forest row. Here is the Carolina chickadee's food cost, which means you can pay either or 1 invertebrate or 1 grain. Think of it like mana in Magic the Gathering. So this would have to be a Selesnya mana token. You can only play 1 white or green, in this case grain or invertebrate. Seed or invertebrate. provisions aren't really represented in this game because you don't actually build a deck. You play from a stack of cards. So here's the point value, which is like the strength. And unlike Gwent, there's no combat. My opponent isn't going to remove my birds. To my knowledge, I don't know if there's any interaction like that. So a low strength total doesn't mean the bird's bad. It just means that this bird's probably doing a lot of other things for you other than giving you victory points. So balance there is not needing to be balanced around removal, which is beautiful, right? And here's the Carolina chickadee's nest icon. So what does that mean? There are 5 types of nests. Carolina chickadee has a cavity nest. The other nest types are platform, ground, bowl, and wild. Nests are used by some birds' powers, bonus cards, which we'll talk about later, and in end of round goals. As you can see, this tutorial end of round goal wants me to have more of these bowl birds that have eggs on them, I guess. Wild nests can be powerful because they can match with any other nest type. Try to remember that, McBeard. Just try to remember that. So I already know I'm going to have to move my camera because I'm already in the way of one of the draws, but I'll fix that later. Here's the bird's wingspan, 20 centimeters. Wingspan is used by some birds' powers and bonus cards. You'll notice when you need them. And now the activation ability. So you'll notice that we're on the siege row here, the C row. So on the C row, if you want to activate, if you want to use one of your cubes as your action, activate. On the C row, you would draw cards. On the grassland row, you would lay eggs. And on the forest row, you would get resources. But in all of those cases, when you do that, you also activate all your engines from right to left. So that's cool. That's how the engine component comes in. When activated, when played, and once between turns. So think of it as an engine, a deploy, or something that has like an ultimate, I guess. Carolina chickadee has a when activated power, which is always represented by the brown color. And we'll explain it all. Well, I already watched the tutorial already, but I haven't actually played it. But I watched someone play the tutorial last night. I was fascinated. And you know what? I think I was already interested in it because it was bird-based. But when I realized how much it was like Gwent, I just got absolutely enamored with the whole thing. And it's so chill. This is where you lay eggs. So the Carolina chickadee can hold up to 3 eggs, which means that this 2 can ultimately become a 5 in a way. But also it means that you can store the eggs on this bird for use later. The music is great. I should have just gotten the enhanced version and gotten the soundtrack because I didn't realize it was going to be this good. I mean, when they offer you the enhanced version with the soundtrack, I guess I should realize that it means the soundtrack is probably dope enough to even have that offering. Now I'll teach you how to play a bird. Let's go to the melee row, which is the forest. First, we need to gain food. We have no resources whatsoever, no mana. So let's gain food for our bird. The panel on the right shows how much food we have, which is none. To play the Carolina chickadee, we would need at least an invertebrate or a seed. And the bird feeder does have 2 seeds and an invertebrate / seed. Inside the bird feeder, yeah, okay. The leftmost exposed slot shows how much food I can take. So when we are on the melee row, the forest row, I'm going to be doing this all stream, we are allowed to gather resources. So imagine being able to only tap for mana in the forest. So on the first stage of the row, we can only get 1 thing. But we can pick whatever one we want. We only need 1. Press A. Boom. So now we choose bird from the bird feeder. So now that was my first action, so I have now taken a turn. It's now, imagine we are on the tabletop. I've put my cube on this slot here. And if you look up the tabletop version, you can see how they organized it. Ah, that's helpful. All right, so select the die I need and press A. I mean, I'm not pressing controller, I'm clicking. Can you see the no going back button? I can see it. The action you're about to do cannot be undone. So we can undo everything up until this point. Okay. Please confirm your choice. Boom. So we have taken our action. Boom. So now we're starting our second action, which is going to be playing the bird, right? Pidgey Pidgeotto. Play the Carolina chickadee. All right. Remember that the Carolina chickadee's food cost says it needs 1 seed or invertebrate. To play a bird, you need to cover its food cost, which means you need to pay for it. Play the chickadee. Click on this. That's what the chickadee sounds like. And now we gotta pay for it, so yes. This was the action. So you can take one of 4 actions, and these are the actions. Activate forest, activate grasslands, activate sea, or play bird. The suggested payment. Auto tap. You can't go back. You can't go back. All right, so we'll pay for the seed. Now, this tutorial does seem hand-holdy at the beginning, but this tutorial will leave us halfway through, and we will actually have to complete the game. And I don't know if I'll win, but I will try. Like I said, when I watched this earlier, the person that I was watching did tie. All right, so we have the Carolina chickadee now on the melee row, which means that it changes a couple of things. Now our forest row is stronger when we activate it, and we also activate the chickadee when we activate the forest row. So we get more out of activating the forest than anything else. The blue jay is the next bird you'll want to play, but before you can do that, you'll need to collect more food. So the blue jay needs a seed and then one of anything. So imagine like this mana cost being white and one colorless. So it's much harder to play these later on, or play them early, because they cost the resources. You need to collect resources every single time. It costs you a full action. So the bird feeder still has what is remaining. Because you've played the chickadee, your gain food action improved. Press A. Oh, to activate it. So now it's here, and then the chickadee is here. So all the birds. So this is now this is like a small look at my melee row here, my forest row. You will get 1, but you can get more now. Yes. Activating the second slot in this habitat means you can take 1 food, as you can see right here, and this symbol here means I can discard a card from my hand to gain additional food, but I lose the card. So it does come at a cost. Only when I have got 2 birds on this row do I get an unconditional 2 resources. This is something I may not necessarily want to take advantage of all the time. Maybe I want to hold on to this bald eagle. It takes a whole action to draw a card. You really have to plan in advance. that, and I can choose whether to take this, so we'll choose that option. Oh, you do. Oh, okay. Okay. So it's gonna make me discard the bald eagle. So bald eagle becomes food. Now I can take more food. Before you do that, look here. Here. These two actions here. Oh, no, these aren't actions. These are representing food tokens. Confusing, but I get it. Those are the dice outside of the bird feeder. Okay. There are 5 total. Each dice that's taken out is marked. While playing, you may encounter birds that use this information. Ah, okay. Now take the seed and confirm your action. Take the seed. And now that the Carolina Chickie has activated with its beautiful feathers, I get a bonus. So where should I move? Where is there no information being presented? Then you can see all of my resources and everything there, but I think I'm okay up here. Maybe later I think there's important information up here. Moves to the left and activates all birds with when activated. So now that we've activated the forest, our action now goes back down and we get to get a seed. It's not the end of my turn. Since the action cube is now on the chickadee, it's time for it to activate. When activated powers are the most common in the game. All birds with when activated power give you an extra action each time you activate that habitat. All of your bird powers are optional. You don't have to. Do it if you don't want to. Okay. And caches it on this card. The Carolina Chickadee is not taking it from the bird feeder, it just found it somewhere else. Oh, I see. So do I get to use this, or it's just... Oh, here we go. So if it's just worth 1 point no matter what, why does it matter that it's a seed that it takes? Is it because there's a limited supply of seeds? So is this removing seeds from the supply? Is that bad? You get points for played birds here, laid eggs, which we haven't done yet, and cached food. Remember how I told you that you need eggs to play birds? You spend eggs to play birds starting from the second slot. The first slot's free. Look at the slots. See the egg symbol on top? They indicate how many eggs you need to spend in order to play a bird. This cost is an addition to the food cost. So if you want to play the blue jay, we need an egg. So we have to go to the grasslands, the ranged row. So we get 2 eggs by activating this right here. Boom. So we're activating this habitat to get those eggs. We have to put the eggs somewhere, though. So even though we're gaining eggs here, we can put eggs wherever we want. Got it. So when birds hold the eggs, see on the icon here? Yes. Choose which bird to lay eggs on. Simply press A, lay 2 eggs, and confirm. Boom. Alright, so now we have 2 eggs, because we have egg holders. It's a bird card game, but it's very similar to Gwent in a lot of ways. They have everything you need to play the blue jay. Select the blue jay and press Y to confirm your food choice. Yeah. So I'm paying seed and seed. So I need to play the egg. So I'm paying this egg. Wait. Select the Carolina Chickadees, I can press A. There we go. Now we have the blue jay. I think the tutorial stops at the end of round 2, so you have to play out the last, what was that, 10 turns? 2 birds played, and your gain food action has become even stronger. You can take 2 food from the bird feeder when you activate this habitat. To attract more birds, you need more cards. To draw cards, go to the siege row. Here, on the siege row, we draw cards. So we're going to activate this habitat, and we're going to draw a card. So you can choose to draw one of these. I'm kind of in the way of the Morning Dove. So yeah, once you draw the face down card, you're committed. Or you can just take one of these 3 turned up cards. But for now, for the sake of learning, I will ask you to draw this killdeer. Draw the killdeer by choosing it and pressing Y. But I mean, I'm clicking. I don't know why it keeps giving me... Maybe because it knows I have a controller plugged in. But... So we need to gain food to play the killdeer now. Because you played 2 birds in the habitat, you can now gain food. Click on there. No, now it's telling me to click here. So we get 2 food from the bird feeder, and we need only 1 for the killdeer specifically. Now we have 2 activated powers that'll happen here. Go, Blue Jay, go. After you gain food, then the Blue Jay activates, and then the Carolina Chickadee activates. All of this just by using 1 action, because we built our engines, right? We built our engines. But the food you need is not in the bird feeder, because we need this, and there's only berries and only berries. Don't worry, right now you can reset the bird feeder, so why can I do it now? Resetting means taking all the dice inside and outside of the bird feeder and re-rolling them. You can re-roll anytime all of the bird feeder shows the same face. Okay. You can reset the bird feeder by clicking on re-roll bird feeder, but you can't undo. There's only 1, so I can re-roll and that doesn't count as the action. Remember, there's only 1 dice in the bird feeder, and you can also re-roll all of them. All of the dice you're taken out of the bird feeder, they will become re-rolled automatically at the end of the turn. Okay, so there are a lot of details about the bird feeder that I'm learning now. So please take this and accept the choice. The Blue Jay's power is similar to the Carolina Chickadees. It can cache food, but the Blue Jay's power lets you choose between caching the seed or taking it for myself. Yeah, so this actually matters. It seems like this doesn't matter what it's taking. I still don't understand it. Once I understand that, I'll understand a little bit more nuance of the game. Unlike the Carolina Chickadee, the Blue Jay takes the seed directly from the feeder. So when there's no seed in the bird feeder, you can't use this bird's power. Fortunately, there's plenty of seeds. Yeah, Blue Jays. Let's go Blue Jays. Here you can choose the die you want to take in order to cache your seeds. You can also skip this bird's activation. For now, take the seed. It'll come in handy later. I will take the seed. Select the take option and confirm. Take the seed. And now we get the chickadee's power or choose to skip it. But I'll take it because that's another point. Look, it's your last turn this round. It's true. I only have 1 cosmic cube left. Before you finish, however, let me show you your opponent. Yes, this is a game in which you can have 1 to 4 other opponents, so you can play either solo or against 4 other players. 5-player game, and I would play board games. This would be like playing board games with you guys. So if you are interested in picking this game up, we could put a lobby together. Before you finish, however, let me show you your opponents. The Silex, we could play. Play against somebody who's a noob. You might beat me. So this is your opponent. And this is you. Me. I'm me. Oh, you can't see. Oh, this is the information you can't see because I'm up here. So maybe I just move like a little bit over here. You can take a look at their habitats. To take a peek at the opponent's habitats, you need to click on their portrait. This guy, this motherfucker, has a predator, a barred owl. His barred owl will hunt each time your opponent activates this bird. So this is when hunting is a different like concept, I guess. But every time it activates, has a chance of getting an additional victory point. So it's an engine in its own way that's gaining +1 every turn in its own way. But it has a chance to fail. And each of these birds are like put in the game at a certain strength level or like wingspan level to balance it. So the amount of times this can hit is balanced. And when you have bonus cards that care about certain birds, it tells you the percentage of cards it interacts with. So you know the odds when you go into it. If it succeeds, the bird card will be tucked. Every tucked card is worth 1 point. Remember, at the beginning of the stream, I said there's 6 different ways to get points. Later, we'll try to use this power for our benefit. So it's important to know what your opponents are doing. It's also important to know what your opponent's victory conditions could be, because we all have different victory conditions for extra points. Let's go back to the preserve and finish our first round. We have enough. So this is our last turn, so we can play our killdeer. So I guess we should play it. Play it on the forest. Oh no, we can't. We can only play it on the ranged row or the siege row. Like I said, all day long I'll be doing this job. For now, I would like to play it here. Remember how you played cards before? First, click the killdeer card. Drop it here. Play the card. I accept this payment. 1 invertebrate. And the round is over. There's a bunch of stuff that happened at the end of the round here. So victory points are not limited. No. Yo, Disco Spider, thanks so much for the sub.
Commandos!
Alright, again, I'm a little bit in the way again here, so maybe I'll just make myself a little bit smaller. I just want no information to be obscured because there's a lot of information you need here. So, in this situation here, there was an end round goal that all players were working towards. Have the most birds on your forest row. In this case, I had 2 birds on my forest row. My opponent only had 1, the owl that we saw. So I won this particular goal objective. Each objective has a different prizing structure, and it matters. It's probably better and better the more players there are in the game, but in this case, because I had more, I get victory points. No one can take these away from me. Count the number of birds you have on this specific row. Count the total number of birds with this specific... Okay, you have to really... With the specific nest types. And star nests count towards all nest goals. Wild nests are like wild cards. So birds in wild habitats are good for nest goals. So, at least 1 egg, not total number of eggs. And then it's a similar thing. How many eggs in this kind of habitat? And this last one was what? Total number of birds, just total birds. If you don't meet any requirements, you get nothing. If you play and your opponent tie, the points for those places are divided by the number of players and rounded down. So sometimes if you're tying, I mean, I don't think there's a situation where you get less points for tying for first than if you would get second, but maybe there is. Let's summarize what you've learned so far. You took 8 turns in the first round. You know how to play birds, gain food by activating the forest row, lay eggs by activating the grasslands row, draw cards by activating the marine life row. You know that you can score victory points by playing birds, laying eggs and keeping them on the board, caching food, tucking cards, and the end of round goals here. You also know that you have an opponent. Now I can show you more advanced stuff in the second round. I'm ready. It's the first turn of the second round. Remember that the second round has 7 turns and not 8. Close this screen. You want to show me something important about drawing cards, but to do that, we need more eggs. So let's go to the grasslands to get more eggs. Ranged row. We need to get more eggs here. So boom. Take those eggs. And we're going to lay the eggs. We're going to put the eggs on the chickadee, I guess. Oh, and there's trivia on each thing. Chickadees hide seeds and can remember thousands of hiding places. Blue jays can carry up to 5 acorns and will store hundreds for the winter. 5 acorns? How? How can it fit? So how do I undo that? I guess I'm not sure how. I should probably learn how to undo it. Oh, here. Maybe in the tutorial here that it doesn't want me to undo this. Doesn't matter. I wanted to hear the blue jays call. So gaining eggs, placing those eggs, that's the whole turn. We would do more, but we don't have any birds on the ranged row. Oh, the cards have changed in the draw pile. Every round they change. After each round, all the face-up cards will be replaced by new ones. Remember, if you want a specific card and the round is coming to an end, you're going to have to get that card. Small acorns? Small acorns. Because you have a killdeer, you can activate... So we can activate card draw, but also exchange an egg for a card. So it's all about resource management and exchanging resources for the best value you can have for your engines. Let's make use of this exchange. So this means that... So I have 2 eggs right now on the board. So when I activate this ability, I'll draw a card, and then I can drop an egg for a card. And then the killdeer is going to activate, and I can drop another egg for another 2 cards, drawing 3 cards. It's pretty good for 1 action. Now on the panel below, click Exchange Egg for Card. We have to pay for the egg, so we have to go to the forest habitat, pay for that egg. Or pay that egg. Now choose 2 face-up cards and accept your decision. So what do we want? Well, we don't have any grasslands birds, so we should probably take either the vireo or the barn swallow. The Bell's vireo has a when played ability and has a wild nest. So we actually, that helps towards the goal that we're doing. This also has a wild nest. When activated, you can tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. So it allows you to mulligan a card, and it also gains a point for every time it does that. So these 2 seem like the 2 best ones. So I'll take this one and this one. Confirm. Now activate the killdeer. So this gets me another 2 cards. So I'm going to get all the cards in the end, right? Take the last face-up card, which is the snowy egret. But they will not replace the face-up cards. They will be replaced when I finish this turn. Okay, so they do come back. Look at the face-down card with the cannot turn back. Of course, once you look at it, you can't put it back. Accept your fate. It's a black vulture. A predator. Wait. Oh, no. Interesting. When another player's predator action succeeds, gain one of the resources in the bird feeder. Okay, okay. And I will take the snowy egret as well. Damn, we're stacked. So my opponent has taken the action and is waiting for me to complete their action. My action. So I'm going to activate this. I'm going to take this. Because there's only one... Oh, I can re-roll before I take my last... I can re-roll before I take my last one. That's good to know. Uh-oh. But we didn't get an invertebrate at all. There's still a way. Whenever you play a bird, you can spend any 2 food items as if they were 1 food item. This is like Settlers of Catan rules, I believe. So this is kind of like how you can fix mana, but it costs you to do it. Every resource is, in a way, getting you an amount of points, and you're always trying to maximize that in this game. So whatever food I want. So let's just take a berry and confirm. And now we also get to take the blue jay, the seed for the blue jay, and also Carolina chickadee, but we don't get that. That just goes behind the chickadee. To play the Bell's Vireo, you need 1 egg, which we do have. Right. The first bird you play in each of your rows does not cost an egg at all. So we're going to play the Belzevirio. And we're also going to get the bonus cards. Now, normally I would have started the game with a bonus card, but this is the tutorial, so I didn't. But we are going to get... So the food payment is like, yo, you're overpaying for it, but you can pay for it. It's music, dude. It's this music. Confirm your action. So these are bonus cards. So this is how you get extra points and actually gives you a win condition to play towards around this particular point. This is the final of the 6 ways to gain points. You can keep one of them, but you have to discard the other. You'll gain more victory points at the end of the game if you fulfill the requirements specified on your bonus card, and your opponent cannot see this. There's no punishment for failing to do it. Look at the nest box builder. Oh, here. This is where nests come into play. So birds with cavity nests. To have a better view of your cards while choosing, you can hide this interface. Just click the arrow at the bottom center of the screen. You can move to other habitats to help decide which of these cards is better for you. So go to the forest. Well, it looks like we have a cavity nest. We'll play the Black Vulture later, so I would advise taking the Forester card. So we don't have anything yet to get us better, to get us points. However, it's telling us that we are still fulfilling this. We also are fulfilling this other one here with Forester, because we have 2 birds that can only live on the melee row, the forest row. So we're going to take the Forester bonus card. But both of these represents having an amount of cards that go towards this goal. However, we only need 3 to 4 birds to get the bonus here, whereas you need 4 to 5 birds here. So since we can confirm we're going to play 3 forest birds that can only live in the forest, yes, this would be the better choice. It tells you your odds, how many cards that care about this too. So it matters how likely you are to complete this in the future, or how likely you are to get the extra bonus. But we know we're getting at least this bonus, and that's better than having nothing. And it just is a card that stays in my hand. For the UI. Now the Black Vulture. Check this out. Black Vulture has a pink ability, which is a once between turns ability, as opposed to a brown ability, which is the when activated ability. You can activate that's once between turns power, and only when your opponent does something specified in the power's description. Can be activated only once between each of your consecutive turns. Now look at the Black Vulture's food costs. It doesn't have one. It's a free card. And you have enough eggs, so we have to pay the eggs always, but this is a free card. Ah. Thanks, Chickadee. Now that you've played your Black Vulture, you can make use of your opponent's successful hunts. The opponent gained food and activated their Barred Owl. Okay. So this doesn't happen when I activate. So I'm going to take one of these from the bird feeder, and I'm going to take the fish because I have a snowy egret. I wanted to show you one last thing before we finish the tutorial, but not the game. So let's go to Grasslands. The leftmost exposed slot will activate the habitat. Let's click it. So we're going to click this here. So we can get 2 eggs, but we also can exchange a food resource for the eggs. So do you see a pattern here? You get food from the forest, but you can use cards to a greater advantage in the forest. You get eggs in the grasslands, but you can use food resources to get a greater advantage in the melee row, or in the ranged row here in the grasslands. And you can gain cards in the marine row, but use eggs as an additional resource there. So each row helps the other row exchange. Spend 1 food to lay an additional egg. Now it seems like this is good value. A resource for an egg. A resource is less often to be worth a victory point, but an egg is always worth at least that, right? So that seems like that's good, but maybe there's a lot of stuff that changes that. So let's confirm the decision. So let's put the berry away. And now we're laying 3 eggs. It doesn't matter where the eggs are, I think. So let's hear that blue jay call. And I'll put one on the killdeer because I don't know what it sounds like. Got it. All right. There is still one turn in this round, but I think I've taught you all I know. Do you guys think I can take on the AI and win in the tutorial? You drew in the tutorial, 63 to 63. Okay, well, that's the score I saw as well. So maybe just with that advanced knowledge, I could beat the tutorial. Let's sum up what we can do. But before we finish the tutorial, I love how the tutorial is basically giving me YouTube like prompts. Like I could teach you guys how to play the game, but the tutorial does a perfect job. And I probably will just clip this as like a check this game out video. In your turn, you can play birds, gain food, lay eggs, or draw cards. And you can always remember that because you activate the forest row to gain food, you activate the grass row to gain eggs, and you activate the marine row to draw cards all the time. During your playthrough, you check current end-of-round goals, which change every game you play, so there's that variance. Also, the birds you see are different every time you play, so there's that variance. And you also can get excited to see certain birds, like actual bird watching, I guess. I mean, I've watched a few birds. It's exciting. You either care about that stuff or you don't, I guess. But I think it's super cool. Check them. Whoops. It's allowing me to do stuff while still here. Oh, right. It wants me to click into. First, you can see how many points you and your opponents have already scored. It also shows how many points you potentially are going to score in the future. So you can always monitor. So this is a really quick way to monitor where your opponent is on the goals without having to like, So the game does a lot of the stuff for you where the board game, like the tabletop game, would not do for you. This is your current total score. And it also tells you what you're looking at, total. Twitchers, they are called, which is quite ironic. Is that because to watch a bird, you have to be like, oh, bird? Really works for someone who has ADD like I do. It really excuses naturally what I would do to watch the bird. Completely check out from what I was doing to pay attention to something else. If you're not sure what a certain button does, you can check up here. Close the screen by going back. There's one final thing you can do. At any time, you can access a general overview of your habitats. Press tab. Very nice. This overview displays your habitats and birds. You can also see which birds are available in the wetlands and what food is currently inside the bird feeder. To close the overview, just press tab again. But I imagine I could also look at my opponent the same way. Maybe if I wasn't in the tutorial I could. You can finish the remaining rounds now if you want. I hope you will be successfully attracting birds to your habitats. Good luck playing Wingspan. So I just want to actually see if I can do this. Yes. So this is good to see. All right, cool. So let's play. So what do we have? We have a snowy egret in our hand, which is a marine bird. We have the barn swallow, which is marine or grasslands. And this bonus card isn't played. It's just something we hold, to my knowledge. So we already have our first objective realized. So the barn swallow is something that we can pay for right now, but we also can pay for the snowy egret. The snowy egret's a predator. So whenever we activate, we roll a dice not in the bird feeder, and if there's any fish, gain fish and cash it. So it's a RNG, but it cares about nests, but not this nest. Does this have a nest? It does. It has a wild nest. So we want to be playing this before the end of this round because we are in a round that cares about how many birds we have with nests that also have eggs on them. So we need to also be playing an egg on this one, on all of them. So I think gaining... So how many actions do we have left in this round? Only one. So we want to play the barn swallow and play an egg, but we can't play both. So I did have a choice. I did actually make a misplay. The tutorial allowed me to make a misplay already. I wanted to put an egg here. Very good, very good. But I have an egg here, an extra egg here. So I did... Splitting my eggs was probably good here as well. But I don't want to sacrifice any eggs. But I could pay an extra egg if I wanted to, because it doesn't cost me a point here. So gaining the egg seems like maybe the best play, because I would gain a victory point for putting an egg here, for putting an egg here, and for putting an egg here. That's 3 points. I don't lose these cards either. So I'm going to assume that this is the best play. So we'll put an egg here, put an egg here, and put an egg on the vulture. Oh wait, I need to also exchange food. I will exchange a seed, and I will play one more egg. I just earned an achievement here. So we got first place, so we got 5 extra points. So our point total is looking pretty beefy now, because we're already in the running here for the top one. All right, 6 turns left. So I know my opponent has laid eggs. Because right now, the end of round goal is laying eggs in grasslands. So that's all we care about. So the first thing we want to do is play the barn swallow, but we don't have the food required to do that. So we have to get food. We have 6 actions in the third round, which is 1 less than the second round, which is 1 less than the first round. There's only 4 rounds. I think we have to actually take action on this to gain resources. So I'm not going to discard a card. I'm going to take... Unless I want to discard the egret. So maybe I do want to discard the egret. I actually might do that. Because I'm going to get a lot of stuff here. So choose food from the bird feeder. I'm going to re-roll the bird feeder first because it's only showing me one thing. And now it's showing me a bunch of stuff I can use. So we'll take the invertebrate. Oh, also one thing to note, you can re-roll the bird feeder whenever you see only one thing. However, the invertebrate and the mixed invertebrate seed are 2 different faces, just so you know. But in this case, I'm going to take the fish for variety. And I'm not going to discard the egret, because now I can play it. It's got 4 strength, Gwent style. It's got 4 strength, so it's worth like quite a bit in itself. So I'm not going to actually take the extra added action here. We're also going to gain a seed from the bird feeder, which we have available to us. And we're also going to gain 1 supply for another point. So every time I activate forest, I've got an engine on forest, so it's in my best interest to activate forest. But my end of round goal is based in grasslands. But this is about laying eggs, not about playing birds in the forest. So there's a lot to consider how you're going to get all your points. But you can plan it from the very, very beginning. Because I really want to get into a game like that's outside of the tutorial now, to see like the range of variants, see what birds we're going to see. We're going to be gaining eggs. And also playing more things that can hold eggs in grassland. So I want to play this bird as my next action before I gain 3 unconditional eggs for my next action. So we're going to play the barn swallow. We're going to commit the invertebrate. And we're going to spend an egg. So we're going to spend the egg on the blue jay here.
Barn swallow. Barn swallows once nested in caves, but now favor human-made structures.
Cool. It sounded like it was text-to-speech sounding in the tutorial that I watched, but no, that's cool. So it has facts about the bird sometimes when you play them. So we see that our opponent has played a Cooper's hawk in its forest area, which is another predator, which means that more likely that our black vulture is going to activate, because it's more likely that our opponent's predators are going to get their prey. All predatory birds have predator stuff, like all the birds that can live only in forests. Like all the birds are in real world components. The flavor is in this game. So to play a predator, you need to play a creature. How is it called in this game? What is it called? vertebrate, maybe? You playing like a mouse. So that's hawks and owls and falcons. And they hunt. So I just love it. And they get you points by doing it. I got confused. All right, so 1, 2, 3. We're gonna confirm that. Now the barn swallow, when activated, which it is now activated, tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, draw a card. So you don't have to take the action. So in this situation, I am choosing to mulligan my egret for another card. But in doing so, I gain a point. So the value to me here is I don't lose a card for spending this ability. I always gain 1 point from this ability, but I lose my egret. So if this egret was crucial to my strategy, I wouldn't want to spend this card. However, I would say that this doesn't seem to care about any of the endgame goals. So I'm going to mulligan. I'm going to get my extra points, and I'm going to draw a new card. Oh, but I knew the cards that I could draw were at the bottom here. So grassland birds. This bird seems to want to do everything that we can do. Not only is this a grassland bird that cares about eggs, that generates eggs, that can hold 6 eggs, but it's also something that can be paid for with 3 seeds, and we have a seed generating bird in our forest row. So I'm going to take the northern bobwhite. 3 turns left. So I get to choose something from the bird feeder, so it's going to be a seed. Now it's important that I re-roll this bird feeder before the blue jay procs, or else I won't be able to get a seed from out of here. But I need 3 seeds. So this next turn I have to go up and activate the forest row to either get a seed or ensure that I have the seed to play the northern bobwhite, which I will also do for my second last action in the grasslands row. And then for my final action, I think I'm just going to get eggs, activate, place eggs, and just have a ton of eggs, ton of points, and have our end round goal. If it sounds complicated, it is. And believe me, this is the most complicated and delightful tutorial I've ever played. This is the tutorial game. Yes. So what did I say? I was going to gather resources here. So we're going to re-roll first. We're going to take... no, we're not going to take the seed, because the seed can be taken by the blue jay. So I'm going to take the... So we can see what cards are available down here. So if we were to draw any of these cards in the future... If we really wanted to play the ruby-crowned kinglet, we could play it next turn with just the 1 berry, which means that we have resources allocated. 3 seeds for the bobwhite and 1 berry for the kinglet. So I'm going to take the berry in this case. I guess I'm also going to take the vertebrate. And then I'm not going to discard a card. I'm going to take the seed now. Whoops. And I'm going to gain another point on my Carolina chickadee. Big pointos. So the next thing I want to do is play the northern bobwhite and then activate the grasslands row, and that'll be the end of my round. So northern bobwhite. I'm going to pay this. We have to pay 2 eggs. So we don't want to pay them from the grasslands. Remember, our end goal is cares about eggs and grasslands. So I'll spend them from pay 1 here and 1 here. I don't know if it's going to matter as much. It's just 1 egg.
Northern bobwhite. Bobwhites are prolific breeders, but their numbers are in decline.
Well, hopefully they can fix the problem. 5 strength on this bobwhite as well. It's got a good body on it. And then the last thing was activate. Yeah, we're going to activate here. And we're going to exchange a fish token. And then when this activates, it's going to get another egg as well. We're going to switch a fish out for an egg, and we're going to put it here. And then it's going to activate. It's going to get another egg. We're going to tuck a card from hand. We're not going to. I'm not going to. And I'm pretty sure we obliterated the guy here. We got first place again in the round. But now, look, we're at a tie for our final total here, and there's only 4 actions, 5 actions, 5 actions for the final round. Now his bird hunted, so our vulture gets to loot. So I'll loot another mouse. So we want to play birds. That's our ultimate win condition now. So let's go and draw some. So we can trade an egg for a card to get a second card. Now the win condition is no longer caring about eggs, but each egg on a bird is worth a point. So I'm trading a point for the card. But in this situation, I think it's worth it because I think 2 of my actions are going to be playing birds and 2 of my actions are going to be activating habitats. Because this habitat is going to be great to activate, and this one too. There's a lot, I got a lot out of it. But every action has a reaction as well that gives me more resources to spend. So there's that too. But I'm pretty sure I'm drawing a card here. So I'm going to be drawing... So what do I have here? I do have a berry. Oh, I lost my chance to get that bird from before. Play a second bird in the forest and then pay its normal cost. Yeah, so I want this. And I'm going to actually sacrifice an egg to draw a second card. But I don't have another forest card, and these 2 are not forest cards. So I'm going to take my chance here at the face down card that it will be a forest card. I got lucky. It's the Eastern Kingbird, which can be played in any habitat at all. Alright, so let's take those cards. And now I have to discard another egg. Why? Because of... Wait. Oh, because I'm here. The Killdeer. Discard an egg to draw 2 more cards. I don't think I want to do that. Because I don't think I'm playing these. I don't think I have the resources. Brown Pelican. When played, gain 3 fish. That's a good deploy. Alright, we get to choose something from the bird feeder. The berry? Yeah, we want the berry, because now we can play 2 birds here. Also, we got the extra nests here. Actually, I don't think that matters anymore, but we'll take the berry. The bird feeder re-rolls automatically, I guess. We have 11 out of 20 eggs. Everything is kept track of here. So we want to play on the forest. We play the Vireo, and then we can play a second bird in the same action. So we want to do that. Oh, I have to spend the eggs here.
Red-eyed vireo. Nearsighted vireos flock with other birds that make noise if predators are around.
So I exchanged 2 eggs for each of those. So this Eastern Kingbird really broke even for me. The Vireo also got me 1 point, but it allowed me to do more in the action. I don't know if that actually was a good play or not, but it means that I'm getting tons of resources and activations, which means I can play more birds. And since I got 2 of these birds on the action, I want to do 1 activation here, 1 more draw, and then a play bird somewhere.
Eastern Kingbird. The kingbird displays its orange crown while defending its territory.
Build 2 birds with 1 stone. Achievement unlocked. Alright, so we can take lots of bird feeder stuff. So what's in the draw pile in the marine row? This is really good for us, says Phoebe, because we have... How many bowl nests do we have? 1, 2, because these count as bowl nests, right? I think the wild nest counts as any nest. 3, 4. That's great. So we want to draw that. So says Phoebe. So we want to get as many vertebrates as possible. We also can exchange resources, but... So it's asking me to take, so I'm going to take a vertebrate, keep seeds in here. Now we're going to gain food, I think. Gain food, draw says Phoebe, play says Phoebe. Phoebe says Phoebe. 1, 2, 3. Blue Jay takes this too. Now I'm Rich with resources. I only have one vertebrate, but I can turn all... This is that's my last turn, so... Oh no, I got my second last turn. I get to draw now. Yeah, I'll be exchanging my resources, but I won't be, like... It's like leaving money on the table. Like, I have so many resources. Says Phoebe. Now, I'm not going to be able to play another bird, so I don't want to sacrifice an egg to draw something I can't play. Not doing it. Another vertebrate. This is the last turn, so we're going to be playing... Wow. Last bird here. 5 strength. We're going to be paying this because I don't think it matters what else we pay. Spend the eggs.
Says Phoebe. Thomas Say also has snails, crabs, and a snake named after him.
Good for you, Tommy Tom. Oh, is it an automatic thing that I now say yes? Oh, okay, there we go. So does it count as a wild? Oh, I didn't get a chance to see it. Oh, yeah! Okay, and here's the final scoring. I'm the blue. So not only did the tutorial guy lose by not have 63 points like in other tutorials, but I won. But I kind of knew how the game was going to play out a little bit, but I didn't study it. I just watched it once. All right, that's a game. 8, almost 9 hours playing Wingspan. What a beautiful game. I love this game. I'll play it again soon. Thanks, guys. I got to go. So much for Path of Exile today. But this game's coming back for sure. Take care, my friends. Hope you have a great day.